Yep, that's me. And this is my v-tec Honda Prelude. Well, at least it was, until I crashed it.
Now I will get into exactly what happened in a minute, but for now, let's just focus on getting this thing in my shop and start repairing it, because for one, the loot has literally been sitting out here for the better part of a month, and two, I really need a car.
As you can see, there's a good amount of damage, but honestly, it could have been much worse when you hear what actually happened. After finishing a long day at work, I just wanted to get home ASAP. I took the usual twisty mountain road I always take when I drive to my shop. The only difference this time, I wanted to get back home quick. At the last 180-degree turn, everything kinda went downhill. The lower ball joint completely left the chat. The wheel fell off and jammed itself into the fender, ripping out the drive shaft with it. And, well, that leads us to where we are now.
3, 2, 1. It doesn't run very well. It's just 100 meters that I have to drive this thing, so let's hope nothing happens. That does not sound good. Okay, so change of plans. We'll have to fix this very, very quickly outside of the shop. So let's grab a pair of gloves and let's go.
It's safe to say this entire situation is less than ideal. I really wanted to get the car inside to be able to work on it properly, but hey, here we are battling the elements. My main goal with this is not only to fix the damage, but to also prevent anything like this from ever happening again. So I'm not only replacing the lower ball joint that broke, but also the upper control arm, toe arm, wheel bearing, and the drive shaft bearings. That is, if I can even manage to get the drive shaft removed. With everything disassembled, you can now clearly see the lower ball joint, which is obviously not supposed to look like this, but after a bit of persuasion, I also managed to get that removed.
So I really didn't want to take this entire thing off the car, but now, well, here we are. And this right here is the exact ball joint that broke. You can see this thing is completely fried. We will need to replace this, press it out, but for that I will first need to remove the drive shaft, which is working semi-good, because this nut will not come off. Well, let's try it in the vise.
But no matter what I tried, the nut just wouldn't come off. So long story short, I brought the entire assembly to my mechanic friend who had access to a stronger impact gun, and after removing the seized nut, he was even kind enough to press in the new ball joint. This means I can now temporarily put everything back together to finally drive the car on the ramp. And with the loot finally inside my shop, we can now change the wheel bearing, change the splines on the drive shaft, replace the tie rod, bleed the brakes, put some new shocks in, and then hopefully this will eliminate the risk of something like this happening ever again. So I'm just gonna replace everything. Let's go. When I brought the entire hub assembly to my mechanic, he had to use a lot of heat to get the axle nut off, and he recommended that I should definitely change out the wheel bearing because of all of the heat that went into it. On top of that, when the drive shaft got yoinked out, one of the 3 bearings on this little spline thingy just completely vanished for some reason, so of course I'm also replacing that. Okay, so I was just about to remove the wheel bearing, but then I noticed that it actually looks totally fine. All of the plastics, all of the rubber still looks totally fine. Now, the reason why I wanted to change it initially was that we had to heat up this nut quite a bit to get it off the drive shaft. So I was already suspecting that the wheel bearing would also be completely toast because it probably got way too hot. I just didn't want to take the risk and just install a new wheel bearing. But now that I'm looking at it, none of the rubber has actually melted or deformed. It even still had grease in there, so I'm thinking this wheel bearing is actually totally fine. I don't want to be the guy who doesn't do a job just because it saves some time, but I think in this case it is totally valid and I'm just gonna put it back together. Seriously, considering the intensity of the crash, it's still fascinating to me that there is not more damage on the car. I'm replacing the upper control arm as the old one had a lot of play in it and I do not want another suspension failure on this car. Thankfully, most of the parts are relatively affordable for the Prelude. The only part I had issues with finding was the driveshaft bearing spline, which I had to source from a Honda Integra and grind down the space between the bearings to make it fit into the trans-side housing of the driveshaft. Now, it's just a matter of putting every bolt and nut back where it belongs and we should be ready to go. That was a major step into the right direction, so now I guess let's clean up the rest of the suspension by installing some brand new shocks. I know for a fact that in the rear they are completely shot. They're making this horrible clunking noise, so I thought while I'm at it I would change out both the rear shocks and the front ones just to prevent anything like this from ever happening again, and also just to dial in the suspension on this thing because like at the moment it's just all over the place, it's making horrible noises and I just want to have fun with this thing without worrying about anything breaking anytime soon, I guess. So let's go. No way, that's not going anywhere. Oh yes, finally. Oh Jesus, why is this car such a pain to work on? Anyways, one coil assembly out of the car. Let's get rid of this nasty shock. I think these are totally shot. The Prelude is definitely not an easy car to work on. I've noticed that jobs for which you would only have to remove a few bolts on another car, you need to basically take everything apart on the Honda just to get the same job done. But enough complaining, in the end everything worked out, and with the experience I gained from taking apart one side, the other side should be a breeze to work on now. After changing the shocks all around, I think it's time to focus on the more obvious damage now. The fender got a pretty good beating from the crash, so I'll put a new one on, which I literally got for free on Facebook Marketplace. I just had to go and pick it up, and the best part is, the guy I got it from even gave me a big box of other Honda parts, completely free of charge as well. So at least there's a silver lining to this entire crash thing. Alright, everything's fixed. We got a beautiful green new fender, new shocks in the back and in the front, a new upper control arm, new bushings, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's take it out for a test drive and see very carefully if everything's okay and if I can drive this thing safely. Finally again. Gotta be very, very careful though. Well, I guess that problem's fixed now. It's still making this clunking noise, as you can hear, but I actually figured out where that comes from. That's actually the sway bar in the back, the bushing of the sway bar. It's just rattling a bit still. I really hope the shocks would fix the problem, but anyways, we got new shocks all around the car. It drives so much better, you cannot believe how much better it actually drives, and now my confidence in this car is finally back. Also, I got one important thing to share, and that will be that I've actually decided to completely ditch the rust repair that I've already done in the back, because let's be honest, this is totally jank, and you can already see that from sitting just 2 months, the rust has already come back, and I really do not want to worry about rust with this car at all anymore. So I've decided to get myself some new quarters, which are a weld-in solution, so this means that the rust will basically never come back at all anymore. I will not have to remodel the entire quarter with body filler, which is a huge plus, and most importantly, when I decide to sell the car, the new owner will not have to worry about any rust coming back ever again. So I guess win-win. But guys, please do not forget to leave a
comment down below on which color I should wrap the Prelude in, because my plan is to give this thing a full paint job in the original color, which would be this metallic silver gray-ish thing, and then wrap it in a totally new color. I'm really excited about this car now that it's finally running again. I finally got a daily driver once again, and what a daily driver it is. So cold. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.